James from the Eccentric Man, and here's my top 5 go-to tanks for the period 1939 to 1941.
Right, let's look at our first tank, and remember I'm doing 1939 to 1941. So I play a lot of early war armies, and one of the key tanks for me, is the Cruiser Mark I, the A9. It's an interwar tank, and it was designed to exploit breakthroughs in the enemy line and to harass their lines of communication. Two types you've got one with the light anti-tank gun, and you've got one with the infantry support weapon, the light howitzer. From 2019, the Warlord Games tournament up in Nottingham, I took a Operation Sea Lion invasion type army for the Home Guard, and this was my tank that I took along. So what have we got here? Why do I like it? Well, it's a good support tank. I run it with the infantry support weapon, the light howitzer, so it's 125 points. You've got 3 machine guns. Yes, 3 machine guns. And you've got 1 in the hull, coaxial, and you've got 2 in the hull, but they are separate and they can't fire totally in the same direction all the time. So they do have arcs of fire in the little turrets. But they are very useful because you can separately target with them. So its downside is that obviously it's only got 2-inch penetration, but it's got a 2-inch HE, so it does D3 pins, and that is always pretty useful. If you can get a hit on a tank and then put D3 pins on it and hope that you get a 5 or a 6, that tank has then got D3 pins. What's the downside? Ooh, with this one, armor 7. So we're not looking at a very tough tank, but it's there. It's 125 points, 3 machine guns, and the light howitzer. So you can't go wrong, can you? Into the desert this time, and what we've got is the Panzer III, one of Rommel's workhorses. So what do we like about this one? Well, it's 155 points. It's armour 8. It's got a medium gun this time, so it's got the penetration 5. And it's got 2 medium machine guns, so one in the coaxial and one in the hull. So with the German rule of Hitler's buzzsaw, it gives you the extra dice, so that you get a total of 12 machine gun shots. It's not a wonderfully defensive tank, but it's a good one, and it's got a reasonable gun, and it's a good amount of points to allow you to get other units in. And so yeah, that's the go-to for my DAC army, is the Panzer III. If you've watched my Blitzkrieg Bop battles, you'll know that I like taking my Blitzkrieg German army, and it's a toss-up between the 38T or the Panzer IV, the early Panzer IV, and I think the Panzer IV edges it, and you may see a little bit of a trend here. So it's an armour 9, light howitzer, and it comes in with its 2 machine guns for 175 points. So it's my most expensive tank, but it's a pretty good one. Early war, so we've got our 12 shots from the medium machine guns, and we've got our penetration 2 high explosive with D3 pins. Again, if you get a shot with it, you get the chance of putting those 3 pins on, but it's also good against infantry with the light howitzer. So it's a 2-inch template. So any infantry on the ground or anything in the buildings, and it's a good little workhorse to deal with those. So yeah, for my German army, I would go, for my early German army, I'd go for the Panzer IV. Well, it makes no odds between the BCD as it goes. They're all there with the with the light howitzer. But it's a good tank and useful in the early wars. If you follow my channel, you'll know that I'm one of those few people who play the Italians, and I play them in North Africa, or even East Africa, if I get round to it. I've got the troops, so it does both. So, my next tank of choice. Now, we've got the M1440. A nice little tank at 135 points. Armour 8. It's got a light anti-tank gun, but it comes with 3 medium machine guns. 1 in the turret, coaxial in the turret, and 2 fixed in the hull. Yep, 2 fixed in the hull. Not a lot of people know that. But it's a good little tank. Again, particularly good for attacking infantry. So this is my go-to tank for my Italians. If I'm feeling not in the tank mood, I'll go for the Semavent with the short 75 gun. But I might do another little 5 vehicle video, and we'll look at anti-tank vehicles. So this is it, the M1440. Yep, nice little tank, 135 points. Tank number 5, the Mark II Matilda. My favourite tank. I run it with my 8th Army and my East African British Army. Certainly for the Battle of Keren and the 4th Royal Tank Regiment, the Matilda II. In-game wise, well, it's a funny tank. It's 155 points, and your positive bits, well, it's got a light anti-tank gun, penetration 4, and it's got armour 9, which is pretty good. What's on the negative side? Well, okay then, it's only got 1 machine gun, and that's in the turret, so you either fire your gun, your anti-tank gun, or you fire your machine gun. Nothing in the hull. It's also slow, so in bolt action it can advance 6 and fire, or it can run 12. So that's your problem with it. It's a bit limited in speed. However, saying all that, it's my favourite tank and takes top spot, and if I get an opportunity to run one, I tend to do that. Always got one in my 8th Army list. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my 5 top tanks of 1939 to 41. Whether you agree, let me know in the comments below. What would you say your 5 tanks that you go to for your armies in that period, 39 to 41? Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to know when the next video's up. I think I might do a series of these ones. So the next one you might see is my favourite armoured cars, 1939 to 1941. Keep an eye out for that one. Anyway, thanks very much, and take care.